So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the minds. NLP and hypnosis both work with that unconscious part of your mind. But what does that really mean? So you have that unconscious part of your mind, and that's the deeper part. So 10% of your mind is your conscious mind, and that's the part that you reason, analyze, consider with. That's the part that does the day-to-day kind of thinking. That's the part that most people are focused on most of the time. That part is just 10%. The other 90% of your mind, roughly, is that unconscious part of your mind. And your unconscious mind takes full control of the body. So you don't have to say, blink, breathe, chew, swallow, digest my food. All of those things just happen naturally because your unconscious mind takes control of them. It preserves the integrity of your body. So it looks after everything. You know, your stomach lining is replaced every couple of days, your liver every 6 weeks, and even your skeletal system and the cellular body regenerates and renews. If you cut your arm, you don't have to think about healing that. Naturally, the scab will form over and it will heal. Your unconscious mind takes care of all of that. It's also the storehouse of everything you've ever heard, seen, witnessed in any way. It's all of your memories, all of your experiences, all of your beliefs, your values, your programs. Programs, that's a bit of a funny word, isn't it? In NLP, we talk a little bit about working on the mind and updating the software, updating the programs, just like we would with a computer. We might even install a virus protector. But what are the programs of your mind, and what does that really mean? Well, it's pretty simple. So if you think about when you were little and you learnt to tie your shoelaces, you might have had to really consciously think about kind of how to tie them in a bow. There might have even been a song that went with it to help you learn that. But I bet now you don't even think about tying them. You just do it. Brushing your teeth is the same. It becomes one of those patterns or programs. It has a start and an end. We know how to brush our teeth, don't we? We know how to get dressed in the morning, hopefully. We know, some of us know how to drive a car. And if you think about when you first learned how to drive a car, it was very conscious to begin with. You had to think about the clutch, the accelerator, the brake, all those kinds of things. You know, hands at 10 and 2, you had to really think about it. But now there are probably times when you just go on autopilot. You drive down that same route you've always driven down, and suddenly you find yourself there. You haven't consciously had to think about it at all because that unconscious mind has taken care of it all. Your unconscious mind doesn't have a filter. It takes everything literally and personally, and it can't process negatives. What does that mean? So if you think about unable to process negatives and think about generally when you're doing habits, you might think, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. But in order to not think about doing it, it has to actually think about it. For example, if I said to you, whatever you do, I don't want you to think about a pink elephant wearing a purple bow tie dancing down the street. What's the first thing you think of? That's right. In order to not think about it, you have to first think about it. It's interesting, isn't it? And in NLP, we have some presuppositions, and they're things like every behavior has a positive intention. So that means underlying everything, your unconscious mind is trying to do the right thing. You might consciously want something different, but that unconscious need that's being met might be different to the want. And you might not even be aware of what that need is that's driving your behavior. But you are in charge of your mind and therefore your results. So you can take control of them again. It's just about learning how to control the mind. And when you know better, you can do better.